167 and a half pounds. Terence Crawford. Over 167 and a half pounds. Canelo Alvarez.
When Crawford stepped onto the stage, the boxing world was stunned. Instead of looking drained or worn down from making weight, he appeared strong, sharp, and full of energy. Even experienced names like former champion Zab Judah were surprised. Judah pointed out that Crawford, often seen as the smaller man, actually looked bigger than expected. Right there, the fight dynamic shifted. Crawford's physique wasn't just impressive. It sent a clear message. He wasn't showing up just to get through the match. He came ready to take control. The long-standing idea that Canelo had the obvious edge in size and power suddenly didn't seem so certain.
Hey, Zab, how's the weight going to affect Crawford tomorrow, you think?
I don't know, man, but he looked pretty sharp. He looked pretty swift. He looked pretty, like he was, dealing with, like he know what he's up against right now.
Do you think he looked bigger than Canelo out there or
He
not?
looked bigger, didn't he? That's crazy, right? We kept saying about how much Canelo was going to be so much bigger over him, but look, he looked bigger than Canelo. That's crazy.
Has he got to get this done early, though?
I mean, no.
Do you think he might slow down?
You got 12 rounds. Take your time. Take it, bro. You got 12 rounds. Take your time.
But the shock went beyond Crawford's look on stage. It revealed a strength most fans hadn't seen before, though fighters had known about it for years. Former champion Caleb Plant, who has been in the ring with Canelo, shared an eye-opening story. He remembered grappling with Crawford and being stunned by the sheer force he felt. Plant called it unreal strength, not just muscle, but the kind of raw, functional power that matters in a fight. His words backed up what the scales had already shown. Crawford's presence wasn't for show, it was proof he had the physical tools to go with his world-class skill. That realization sent a chill through anyone who had already written him off.
Yeah, we wrestled one time. Yeah, he's ungodly strong. Yeah, he showed me something. Yeah.
So he has a chance to maybe push Canelo back a little bit?
We'll see. Man, I think we're in for a hell of a fight. Both are great champions. I got a lot of respect for both of them. I'm a fan of both. And, the consensus may be, well, because Terence is smaller, maybe if he gets hit with a big shot, he may just run the whole night. But that's not in Terence's blood. He's willing to go out on a shield, and that's a big reason why I respect Terence so much. On top of all his ability and his skill, and he's got a mean spirit too. So it's gonna be a hell of a fight.
Yet, even with all the buzz around Crawford's strength and appearance, one undeniable factor stood in the way: Canelo Alvarez. While some experts started to change their predictions, others stayed firm. Former contender Gabe Rosado was one of them. He reminded everyone that looking powerful isn't the same as taking Canelo's punches. According to Rosado, Canelo's power changes everything. At 168 pounds, his shots carry a level of force Crawford has never experienced. Rosado's outlook was straightforward and chilling. He believed it would only take one of Canelo's trademark headshots to end the fight, possibly by a stoppage.
You know what I'm saying? It's a great fight, man. They both the same size, but I still think that the power transitions over more naturally to Canelo, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
So you said even despite how good Bud looks, same result.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, man, I think it's gonna be a great fight. I don't know why. I just got a feeling that Canelo's gonna hurt, but yeah, I think he's gonna hurt him. Yeah.
The body, chin,
headshot, man. Headshot, I think. Yeah.
Like a TKO stoppage.
Yeah, man. I think, man. But you know what I mean? Like, look, you can't count Bud out because he's pound for pound one of the best. It's always the bigger guy wins, but Bud he's different though, man. But I still think Canelo got it.
The clash between power and skill was made even more complicated by a question that has followed Crawford throughout his career: his record. Promoter Eddie Hearn has been one of the most vocal critics, arguing that Crawford's unbeaten streak may not tell the full story. Hearn points out that while Crawford is an outstanding fighter, many of his biggest wins came against opponents who were no longer in their prime. He cited names like Kell Brook, Amir Khan, and even Errol Spence as examples of fighters past their peak when they faced Crawford. This raised an uncomfortable doubt. Is Crawford's perfect record proof of greatness, or the result of carefully selected matchups? Against Canelo, it wasn't just another fight, it was a chance to validate his entire career.
The thing is with Crawford, and I was kind of goading him on this, and it's not his fault, his resume's not that impressive. Like I said to him, tell me your best win ever. This is what I said to him. And you know what he said? Ricky Burns. Right? Now, Ricky Burns is a great fighter. He's my guy. He's a 3-division world champion, but you can't say that he is, you know, like one of the greats. He's one of the greats of Scottish boxing. But if you're talking about one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters of all time, it's not Terence's fault that he hasn't been able to get those fights. But a lot of the guys that he's fought have been done. You know, even arguably Ricky Burns at the time. You know, I know he went on to win other world championships, but he was kind of on the slide at that time. Kell Brook, Amir Khan, you know, Gamboa, you know, all of these guys. Who else did he beat? Ndongo, like Errol Spence, another example. Terence is brilliant, but he's never actually really had many notable victories.
Boxing isn't only about size, strength, or past opponents. It's just as much a mental game. And many believe Crawford holds the edge there. Former champion Antonio Tarver praised Crawford's mentality, calling him a true fighter with the kind of grit and focus that Canelo's recent rivals have lacked. This stood in contrast to Canelo's usual calm, composed presence under the spotlight. It created a fascinating psychological showdown. Would Crawford's fierce mindset give him the edge, or would Canelo's experience allow him to stay steady and expose his challenger? Even the weigh-in stare-down felt like the opening round in a battle of wills.
I would have loved to see him get a rep, but it is what it is. I just think his mental focus, bro, it sets him apart from all of these opponents that Canelo has faced. He's a real dog, and I know Canelo got a dog too.
So who are you leaning towards, like, personally?
I think from energy standpoint, I like Crawford, bro, and his whole demeanor. Yeah. And I'm an underdog. I love the underdog anyway. So, you know, I'm pulling for Crawford. I'm done. If anybody can beat Canelo today, it's Crawford.
Crawford's surprising condition on the scales forced everyone to rethink the fight. At first, most analysts agreed he would have to rely on a flawless stick-and-move strategy, using his speed and footwork to stay clear of Canelo's power, just as Antonio Tarver suggested. But after seeing how strong he looked, a new question surfaced. Could Crawford actually stand his ground, push Canelo back, and demand respect right away? For Canelo, this changed things too. His usual plan of overpowering a smaller opponent suddenly looked less certain. Now, he was facing a fighter who not only had the skills to outbox him, but also the strength to possibly go toe-to-toe.
167 and a half.
Wait.
$167 and a half.
Who won the weigh-in? Terence Crawford definitely won the weigh-in because not only did he make weight, but he's like made weight like a super middleweight, 167.5. And it's not like, you know, Floyd Mayweather when he used to weigh in at 152 to fight at 154. This guy, 167.5. I mean, that's damn good. It brings up a lot of questions. You can't help but to be like, well, Terence Crawford was definitely too big to be a lightweight. Hell, too big to be a welterweight. Like you start to kind of be like, damn, bro. And I've been saying it forever. He was physically more imposing and more dominant physically as an athlete overall.
And then, just when the build-up couldn't get any stranger, something almost unbelievable happened. Fans and analysts online spotted a bizarre glitch. When people searched who won between Canelo and Crawford, on Google, the AI system actually gave an answer. It claimed Canelo had already won, and even displayed scorecards for a fight that hadn't taken place. The discovery spread quickly, sparking outrage and adding fuel to the David versus Goliath storyline. To many who were rooting for Crawford, it didn't feel like a simple mistake. It looked as if he wasn't just stepping into the ring with Canelo, he was up against forces outside of it, too.
I was requested by one of you in the war room to type into Google who won between Canelo and Crawford. And holy shit, how do they have results already? The AI in Google already has that Saul Canelo Alvarez has won. This is that shit. I mean, listen, they even have the scorecard. I tried Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. I think I tried Canelo versus Crawford. So then I flipped it and I tried Crawford versus Canelo, and they had the scorecards, 116, 112 and shit like that. What the hell is going on around here? See, this is why I'm rooting on Terence Crawford, man. Yo, brother, listen, I know my money. I got a lot of money on Canelo, and that's my prediction. And I feel very much that Canelo Alvarez is going to win. But my hope of hopes, honestly, for boxing's sake, like if Terence Crawford does the unimaginable, that is far better, right? As far as what can go viral for the sport than Canelo beating the obviously smaller guy in Terence Crawford. You can't help but to root for David versus Goliath here. But what the hell?